Caleb left me on the side of the road to appease his lover. I was in a serious car accident. Just when I was about to die, I suddenly saw a barrage of comments float in the night sky. The unforgettable first love is dead. And then there's the old story of the stone. Stand up and be abused repeatedly. The most pitiful of all is Liam. He still doesn't know who he loves, because she was so close to him when she died. With what little strength I have left, I dialed the number of my sworn enemy, Liam. I didn't die, and ended up in Liam's hands. He pinched my chin. A cold smile appeared on his lips. The day I die, Miss Lee, you will come with me. The barrage erupted. What he means is that even if he dies, he wants to be buried with you. Isn't that true, love? Well, he's in love. What love? What love? He obviously wanted me to die. The next second, Liam leaned down and kissed me. Chapter 1, Caleb and I had a huge argument. He threw me on the side of the road. The reason why we fight. It's Winona, a new intern at his company. They said she looked like me, but younger, softer spoken. In the car, Caleb received her distress call. On the phone, she cried. Her voice trembled. As she said, she drank too much and was harassed by a mob outside the bar. I turned my head and scoffed at Caleb. Why didn't she call the police? If she is harassed, why should I call you? Avery heard me on the phone and hurriedly apologized through her. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you. Although Caleb and I grew up together. After being forced into the enterprise, the marriage of our family, our relationship is getting colder and colder. Each of us did our own thing. Never interfere in each other's lives. But for some reason, I just can't stand Avery. Maybe even hate her. Caleb called his assistant to pick up Avery. Then look at me and sneer. Why do you hate Avery so much? Are you jealous? I'm not jealous. I hate her because of her. My voice grew lower when I suddenly saw a line of text float in the sky, go through the windshield. Because she's a pretentious coquette. I thought I saw something. A pretentious coquette, I sneered. Not only do I hate her, I hate you too. If you don't let her disappear, then forget about the marriage. It didn't take long for the assistant to call. Mr. Liu, Miss Lin got drunk and went to the riverbank. She looked as if she wanted to jump into the river. I suddenly remembered my dad's mistress, once always on the verge of death. My temper is short. If you go to her today, we will cancel the wedding. He frowned. His eyes darkened. A signal that indicates him. I'm about to lose my temper. You want her dead. The door clicked open. Caleb's voice was cold. Get out. I don't want to be in the same space as Caleb. At all costs. I opened the door and walked out. Black Maybach soon disappeared into the endless twilight. I didn't realize it until then. I felt like I had been abandoned. In a deserted suburb. I was standing on the side of the road. Try looking for a signal on your phone. A blinding light suddenly flashed from the side. The next second, a speeding car hit me. Knocked me to the ground. My calf was crushed by a tire. The pain of shattering bones overwhelmed me. Driver, afraid of getting into trouble, didn't even go out to check on me. Before speeding away, blood was constantly flowing under my feet. I clenched my phone tightly. Endure the pain. Luckily, I finally found a signal bar. I plucked up the courage to call Caleb. Once the call is connected, it was hung up immediately. This is the suburbs. The nearest hospital is at least an hour away. I don't think I'll be able to live anymore. Until the ambulance arrives. The sky darkened. I curled up on the concrete floor in agony. The smell of blood filled my nostrils. I could clearly feel life slipping out of my body, bit by bit. Just as I was about to call the emergency services, I saw more words floating in the night sky. When the ambulance arrives. She had already died from blood loss. How tragic. This is the end of Rachel's story. If Caleb knew the calling, he just hung up. It was Rachel's last call for help before she died. He may regret it for the rest of his life. Whether he regrets it or not, he'd definitely hate Winona for it. The unforgettable first love is dead. Substitute succession leads to more abuse and tragic endings. The saddest is Liam. He didn't know who he had loved for so long. So close to him. When she died, he will go crazy later and become a villain. He won't end well enough, either. I can't stand to see Liam like this. I blinked, confirming that I saw Liam's name. He seemed to be very close to me. I tried to move, and the will to live, pushing me to push through with every last bit of strength. Andrew's number. Calls are quickly connected. His voice was cold. I suddenly felt like crying, even though things have been so tense between us. I didn't expect him to actually answer my call. I said yes in a weak, trembling voice. I was in a car accident. I'm dying. Please help me. He paused, then immediately asked, "Where are you?" I told him the location and didn't hang up. I was shaking with pain and could no longer utter a word. In my fading consciousness, I can only hear Liam, "Tell me not to be afraid." In my memory, he had never said so much to me before. We're always planning with each other. Fight to the death. But at that moment, I think he's the nicest guy in the world. Moonlight pierces thin clouds, and scattered on the ground, a cold wind is blowing. My body temperature dropped. As the blood continues to flow, I trembled uncontrollably. Try to open your eyes. Through the blurred vision of blood, I saw Liam rushing towards me in a panic. Just before the world plunges into darkness again, I saw more words appear before my eyes. The unforgettable first love was saved. She didn't die. So how is stand-in now taking over? Why does it feel different from the usual fiction metaphors? Suddenly, it got interesting. Let's read on. Oh no! What am I going to do? I started shipping them together. Chapter 2. For half a month, I was in a coma. I've come to understand. The text I see is called a barrage. It was from reading the barrage that I learned. I was an unforgettable first love, who died young. In a stand-in novel, Caleb is the male lead and Winona is the female lead. After my death, Winona took my place with her similar face. Begins a tragic love story with Caleb. I thought Caleb had no feelings for me anymore. But as it turned out, he still had me in his heart. After I died, he kept thinking about me. Leads him to love and hate Winona. Honestly, the plot of this novel makes me sick. Even after death, I couldn't find peace. But to be part of a tragic love story between male dominance and female lead. The day I opened my eyes, the barrage went crazy. Rachel wakes up. She's really not dead. No kidding. Liam spent so much money. Hire the best doctor in South City to save her, guarding her day and night. Of course, she won't die. Caleb still thinks she's just throwing a tantrum by disappearing. He was still glued to Avery. Wait for Rachel to come back and admit her mistake. That's annoying. She'd better not wake up and start competing with Avery again for the male lead. It's the same cliched plot. My fingers moved slightly. Liam, lying on the edge of the bed, he immediately opened his eyes. He stared blankly at me for a moment. Then the doctor was called in a hurry. When the doctor examined me, Liam sat next to me with his eyes fixed on me. Only, listen carefully to your doctor's instructions. Is he finally close? When he approached, I noticed dark circles under his eyes. He was really there for me day and night. He looked down at me with an elusive expression. Why did you call me? I do not know how to explain. So I just screamed hoarsely, yes. I dialed your number casually. Thank you for saving me. Liam's black eyes were cold and numb. The doctor says you're okay now. Because you're awake. Call your fiancé and ask him to pick you up. Liam, I called him softly. Maybe we can be friends. His tall figure stood tall in the light. The shadow deepened under his eyebrows, and he sneered. It costs tens of billions to become friends with Miss Lee. Liam climbed up from the very bottom. He has no background and no way out. So his methods are ruthless. He was notorious in the business world because of his brutal tactics. 3 years ago, he took revenge on him by snatching 2 items from Caleb. I deliberately approached Liam. Surprisingly, he wasn't very wary of me. I was quick to work with Caleb. Take away his most important business deals. Caused him to lose billions. These billions of dollars may not mean much to Chintian now. But 3 years ago, it was a fatal blow that almost ruined him. the last time we met. He grabbed me in the face and warned me harshly. Miss Lee, the next time we meet, I'll kill you with my own hands. But this time, not only did he not kill me, he saved my life. I looked at his back as he walked away and sighed softly. He may never talk to me again. At that moment, a line of text floated before my eyes. Call him husband and see if he talks to you. I was stunned for a moment, then muttered to myself unconsciously. Husband. Liam stopped at the door. His whole body tensed. He really heard it. See the barrage explode on the screen. My ears suddenly turned red. I want to climb into a hole. Liam asked me slowly. Did you hit your head? I buried my face in the blanket, peeked at him through a small slit. According to the information in the barrage, I know Winona. It's the woman's daughter. My dad had an affair with me. Now my dad has admitted that she is his daughter. According to the plot, after my death, my dad would have Avery marry Caleb in my place. My dad wasn't heartbroken by my death. Now he has a new daughter. But then, he begged me to agree to the marriage with the Liu family for his company. As expected, I will never be more important than his interests. Instead of going back now, used as a pawn by my father, and was forced to marry Caleb, I might as well pretend my brain is damaged. I jumped out of the blanket and said to Liam, then, my dad forced me to marry you to pay off his debts. Even if it's a business marriage, you don't have to be so cold to me. We can be friends. The night was dark. Liam's figure is hidden in the darkness. His gaze is deep and elusive. I coughed weakly. Liam, I want some water. He walked over to the table. He poured a glass of water and walked over to me. He glanced at the needle on the back of my hand, then gently helped me to sit up. Feed me water carefully. Rachel, if I find out you're lying to me again, I'm really going to kill you. His voice was low, cold, and dangerous. I bit the rim of the cup and drank slowly. Hear his soft warning. My body couldn't help but tremble slightly. When I looked up, I saw more lines of text floating by. Come on. You're worried that her fore's hand is swollen. Who would believe you would actually kill her? Ivory, you might just want to kill her in bed. Hey, keep PG. This is not no man's land. I suddenly choked on the water and started coughing. Liam put the glass down and patted me lightly on the back. Laugh softly. Take it easy. Your face is red from coughing. Once I calmed down, Liam put the blanket over me and sat on the edge of the bed. Touching my forehead has a temperature. Then he dialed his assistant. With his calloused fingers, he gently brushed a few strands of hair on my forehead. His deep, dark eyes watched my expression closely. Did you just say your brain is broken? I flinched, back in the blanket. I was so scared that I couldn't say anything. Liam's thin lips lost a faint smile. He spoke into the phone. Tomorrow, call the best neurologist to come and see if Madam is not. Chen's brain is really broken. Wait, what did he just say? Wife. Chen, is he serious? Could this be one of those forced marriage plots? No wonder he's that crazy villain. This situation is becoming more and more intense. I was completely stunned. I'm still hurt. I'm just going to play dumb for a while, to avoid the wedding with Caleb. But it seems like I'm off people I shouldn't be provoking. If I knew, I would have continued to play dead. I turned my head slightly, avoiding his hand. There is no relationship between us. We reached an agreement before we were engaged. This type of marriage is purely a commercial arrangement. We don't interfere in each other's lives. Liam realized I had mistaken him for Caleb. His long eyes narrowed slightly. Rachel, do you know what kind of person I am? I craned my neck and whispered, good man. In the dark, Liam's expression was cold and serious. He looked rather scary. But at that moment, I was tired and sleepy, and my injuries are still fresh. After closing my eyes, I quickly fell asleep. In the hazy moments of fading away, I smelled a faint smell of cold. The woody scent in my nose. It disappeared quickly. And barrage. Float by. Just 0.1 centimeter more and you stop. Liam, aren't you supposed to be that crazy villain? Why don't you even dare to kiss her? Seriously, are the villains so pure? Now for chapter 3. doctors say after the car accident. I may experience some memory confusion, so it's normal to misunderstand people. Maybe it will get better after a while. I don't know what Andrew was thinking. He didn't deny himself to be my fiancé. Even came to visit me every day. The comment said he did it to avoid upsetting me and help me recover. Looks, the little kindness he left behind in this life. It's all my use. But my temperament is both capricious and spoiled. Caleb couldn't stand my attitude a long time ago. Liam really shouldn't like me. 2 days ago, I had a tantrum in the hospital. Liam took me home. After learning that my brain was a mess, his temper and patience seemed surprisingly good. No matter how spoiled I behaved, he didn't seem to be angry. The people around him once thought, he's the one who lost his mind. The weather soon turned to early summer. Sunlight shines through the blinds. Even the breeze carries the scent of the sun. My leg is finally healed and I can move around. After receiving treatment, Liam sat on the edge of my bed and slowly peeled the apple. A pale golden glow glistened in his messy hair. When he looked up, the sun just grazed his cold, dark eyes. It gives the illusion of warmth. I stared blankly for a long time, before jumping out of it, and took the apple from his hand. I took a bite and threw it on the floor with no taste. Liam's eyebrows furrowed slightly. There was a faint hint of impatience on his face. Sure enough, spoiled people like me. It is intolerable to anyone. In those 2 months, I was gone. Even my father and Caleb didn't care about me. Never looked for me. It would have been nice for Liam to wake up sooner and realize what kind of person I really am. Unexpectedly, he stood up. Pick up the apple from the floor. Rinse briefly with water from a jug. Then I took a bite. He narrowed his dark eyes at me. There was a hint of danger in his expression. I immediately retracted, whispered, I've already bitten into that apple. Liam's lips curled into a faint smile. Miss Lee never went hungry, so she doesn't know the value of food. This seems to be the first time. He was angry with me. For a long time. After eating the apple, he quickly went to the office. He built his own business from scratch. Every day is busy. For the past 2 months, when I was recovering, although he came to see me every day, we don't spend much time together. Most of what I know about him comes from reviews. Just then, another comment came to me. Andrew hates people wasting food. If Rachel had always been like this, sooner or later he would hate her. Well, so, if I continue to act a few more times, Andrew would start to hate me. My leg is almost healed now. According to my calculations, now is the time to go back and settle accounts with those people. Suddenly, the comments started to increase. Liam was an orphan from an early age. He once fought wild dogs to protect his food. At the age of 14, he began practicing underground boxing. Endured numerous beatings just to get a hearty meal. Even after Rachel's death, Liam is the only one who remembers her. But this is spoiled. Young ladies really don't deserve this madness. He later manifested himself as revenge. Yes, just think about it. 3 years ago, Rachel casually mentioned meeting him to eat strawberry souffle. The next day, then she stole his business and disappeared. Let Liam wait for her all day, in the pouring rain. In fact, a ruthless man like Rachel doesn't deserve him. That night, I tossed and turned in bed and couldn't sleep. I had planned to cancel my contract with the Liu family after returning home. This will naturally transfer of these operations in the new city to Liam. As long as the Lee family and the Liu family don't join forces, Liam has no competitors in the South City. How I lay in bed mercilessly, staring at the screen, full of comments accusing me of being ruthless. I sat up suddenly. In the silence of the night, I let out a long sigh. Chapter 4. I got out of bed. Bedside crutches felt. Then walked to the kitchen. I turned on the kitchen light and limped to the fridge. Removed the ingredients. Because I'm picky about food. The fridge was always stocked. So you won't have a problem making a souffle. I cooked the batter. Mounted on top of cream. Finally, fresh strawberries are added on top. Look at the delicate desserts on the plate. I snorted. Let's see who dares to say I'm not worthy of Liam. You're calling me My body stiffened for a moment. I slowly turned around and saw Liam, lazily leaning against the door frame. I don't know how long he stood there, but I quickly found the answer in the comments. Seam. Soon after I entered the kitchen, he came. But I'm too focused on what I'm doing. Notice him. I couldn't help but complain. Are you a ghost standing behind someone? Without saying a word, he walked into the kitchen, tugging at the corners of his mouth. If you want to eat something, why don't you call someone else? Why sneak into the kitchen in the middle of the night? I pushed the souffle in front of him. I did it for you earlier. I suddenly realized I had said the wrong thing and quickly shut up. Liam paused, tilting her head slightly to look at me. Miss Lee regained her memory. In the end, I stopped calling my husband. I've only said it once. I pursed my lips. I didn't call you. The smile in Liam's eyes disappeared in an instant. He asked, his voice muffled. So who do you call? I stood on one leg and instinctively took a step back. I stumbled on my feet and almost fell. Liam reacted quickly and grabbed me by the waist. He hugged my waist tightly. Then take me to the kitchen island. Don't move, his deep voice echoed in my ears. Strange and alluring in the silence of the night. My breathing inexplicably quickened. His hands were on my sides. When he glanced at the plate, then he lowered his eyes and asked, You did this for me. I nodded slightly, but I don't like sweets. Then throw it away. I paused for a moment and said, Or feed it to the dog. He picked up the spoon and began to eat dessert. A smile slowly tugged at his lips. Not bad. Suddenly, he raised the spoon to my mouth. Give it a try. Except for this man in front of me. Pink comments flowed on the screen. I was aware of the interaction between Andrew and me. It became too intimate. I turned my head slightly. I don't eat sweets at night. They make me fat. Liam grabbed my chin and forced me to look at him. If you don't eat it, I might think there's poison in this cake, he said with a faint smile. There was a strange emotion in his dark eyes. I can't go down alone, can I? I bowed my head. Then he took a bite of the cake and the spoon. Stared at him. Dogs, instead of being angry. Liam giggled and continued to eat as she fed me. A sweet smell lingers in the air. Soon, the souffle on the plate was gone. Even if it was just the two of us in the kitchen. A constant stream of comments makes me feel like I'm being watched. It makes me extremely uncomfortable. After eating dessert, I hurriedly jumped off the kitchen island. My brain went blank. For a moment, I forgot that I had an injury to my left leg. When I realized this, I gasped in pain. I held out my hand, grabbed Liam's robe by the collar, and pulled it apart, showing his strong pecs. I stumbled forward, my head buried in his chest. I have a little cream in the corner of my mouth. Apply it to his chest. It rises and falls. Slightly. Here's what he defines as ABS. A faint scar can still be seen on his skin. The situation is too awkward. I froze until I heard his voice above me. Rachel, what the hell do you want to do? I looked up and met his obscure gaze. Suddenly realized. All the comments are gone. Only one fleeting comment remains. Complaining about the censorship of novels. Anything below the neck is not allowed. Oh, so they couldn't see the scene in front of them. I looked at Liam, my eyes wandering. I just want to go back to sleep. Your leg hurts. Don't move around. The next second, when he picked me up, I felt my body lift. His cool, woody scent filled my nostrils. Makes me nervous. My fingers suddenly tightened over his shoulders. He frowned slightly and looked down at me. Are you a cat? I quickly let go of his shoulders. My hand is now awkwardly resting on his chest. The location doesn't seem right either. Liam carried me steadily to the bedroom. Let out a soft laugh. If your heart has been healed, what should I do with you? I looked at him with innocent, harmless eyes. I don't understand what you're talking about, husband. Liam's eyes darkened as she looked at me. Does Miss Lee think I can get this far? It's easy to be deceived. This guy, Liam, is getting harder and harder to fool. He gently placed me on the bed. I put my arms around his neck. A gentle kiss on his cheek. Liam's body stiffened and his expression froze. I blushed and whispered to him, Good night, Chapter 5. The next morning, I was woken up by the phone ringing. Keep your eyes closed. I fumbled with the vibrating phone under my pillow. At the other end of the line, Secretary Wang's voice came in. Miss Lee, yesterday Caleb asked me about your whereabouts. I am currently using a private phone number. Only Secretary Huang could reach me. I rubbed my eyes. What do you tell him? I said you go on a business trip to Europe and won't be back for a while. Well, but next month is your wedding. Are you still not planning to come back? I rolled over and continued to speak. I'm going to run away from the wedding. He can marry whomever he wants. Sister Wang, you're right. Even though I'm getting into a stopgap marriage, I can't just pick a scumbag. I'm in my right mind now. I stared at the ceiling. It suddenly remembered that Caleb had mentioned it. I feel novelty. When he meets Winona. At the time, I didn't understand what he meant. But after seeing Liam again, I must admit that it feels very fresh. It's kind of funny when you think about it. As soon as I'm done, I met my eyes with a pair of dark eyes. In the corner, the blood in my veins froze. It's Liam. And then, the screen was flooded with a barrage of WTF comments. I was dumbfounded. My brain went blank and I couldn't think. My face turned pale. I hung up in a hurry and hid it behind me. Why are you here? Comments appeared before my eyes. Why? Is Liam still wearing the robes from last night? Did he stay here all night? Help. What happened? After Rachel pulled his robe last night. Is there anything my premium membership doesn't allow me to do? See? Didn't they be so shy that they didn't even dare to kiss before? How did things escalate so quickly? I jumped out of it and asked him tremblingly. You've been here all night. Liam propped his head on his hands. Staring at me, he replied nonchalantly. I spent the whole night thinking about why you kissed me. Before you know it, it's already morning. He could have been thinking about something like this all night. Is this guy crazy? Wow, what a one. I like it. How Liam managed to be both creepy and pure. I tried to calm myself down. No, I can't calm down at all. Liam stayed in my room all night. This means that he heard everything I said to Secretary Wang. In the phone call just now. I'm really doomed to fail now. Liam stood up and walked slowly towards me. An icy smile appeared on his face. At first I didn't understand. But just after hearing your call, it all makes sense. He grabbed my wrist. He looked down at me in a fierce tone. Rachel, so you've been playing with me all the time. The veins on his forehead bulged. He was really angry. The power in his hands is growing. For a moment, I felt like he was going to crush my wrists. I frowned in pain and let out a soft moan. His expression softened slightly. He immediately let me go. I rubbed my wrist, too scared to meet his gaze, and quietly trying to explain. My brain seemed to have cleared up last night. Liam laughed sarcastically. So when you called me husband last night, you know it perfectly. Tell me what your game is? This time, I met his gaze with tears streaming down my face. Suffering, tears welled up in the corners of her eyes. I didn't. He held out his hand. His slightly rough fingertips brushed the corners of my eyes, and his other hand gently massaged my reddened wrist. No way. You can't quit halfway through the game. Otherwise, I might retaliate. Before I react, he leaned down, and it's a bit heavy on the skin, between my thumb and forefinger. Dog. I couldn't help but scold him. Instead of getting angry, he lowered his eyes to look at me and chuckled softly. Comments floating on the screen. Does he like to be insulted? Pervert. I cursed him silently. Suddenly, my phone rang behind me. Before I react, Liam snatched the phone from my hand and answered it. Caleb's voice soon came from the other end. Rachel, next month is our wedding. Where did you go? Caleb must have taken Secretary Huang's phone. Liam's face turned gloomy. I reached out and snatched the phone from him, but he took a step back. I ended up falling into his arms. He grabbed my finger. The warm heat of his palm seeped into me. I told him that I didn't want to marry him. Don't let him find me. Liam paused. The ice in his dark eyes melted instantly. At the other end of the line, Caleb started threatening me. Rachel, I know you want to run away from the wedding. If you don't show up next week, I would not hesitate to replace you with another bride. You probably don't know this, But the Lee family doesn't have just one daughter. Even if you're gone, you won't be able to stop the marriage. An alliance between our families. Liam's eyes narrowed. He lazily played with my fingers as he spoke. Her brain is broken now, so she won't marry you. Caleb hesitated for a moment. Who are you? Why are you holding Rachel's phone? Where is she now? Liam looked down at my panicked expression. Then he giggled. She's obviously in my hands. Liam held me tightly in her arms. His movements are both powerful and gentle. His icy woody smell overwhelmed my senses. I was too nervous to move. Rachel, Caleb called my name through gritted teeth. But he didn't have time to say anything yet. Liam hung up the phone and tossed it aside. Liam raised his hand slightly. Rubbing the top of my head, he asked in a low voice, "Do you want to get revenge on your fiancé?" I stared blankly. My brain went completely blank. Until the screen in front of me, suddenly full of comments. I didn't realize it until then. I seemed to nod. Did my brain really go bad? Liam's slightly rough fingertips, tracing the contours of my ears, slid down my cheeks and finally landed on my lips. After a moment, a smile appeared in his eyes. Just relax. His deep voice is both seductive and restrained. I became more nervous, because the barrage of comments has not gone away, just like they did last night. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm about to scream. Wow, is this really what I'm allowed to see? After a long day of work, that's exactly what I deserve. I closed my eyes tightly, then opened them again. No, I can't because I know someone is watching. I opened my mouth. I was about to say something, when there is a knock on the door. Liam immediately let me go. Then his assistant pushed the door open and walked in. Boss Chin, there is a document that requires your urgent signature. Liam took the papers. His eyes were lowered, suppressing the desire in his eyes. That's it. It's over. I knew it. There's no way I'm allowed to see this. I'm ready. That's it. Are you kidding? I breathed a sigh of relief. I looked up and met Liam's gaze. He threw the documents to his assistant. Lean in and whisper in my ear. I'm busy today, but I'll come to you tonight. In stupid moments, I asked him, do you never want to sleep? He chuckled. Then make sure you're clean tonight and ready for me. Is this happening at full speed? It's always more exciting, with dark heroines and villains. I stared blankly at Liam's receding figure. Suddenly, it occurred to me that I had an idea. He misunderstood. Chapter 6. In the evening, the maid helped me to bathe. I'm not sure if this was Andrew's idea, but even the shower gel has a special floral scent. I waited anxiously until late at night, but Liam didn't show up. I sat on the couch by the window. Reading a book, I fell asleep unconsciously. A loud bang woke me up. I hurriedly opened my eyes and saw Liam stand in the doorway, one hand in a pocket. His expression was serious. Miss Lee, did you sleep well? He only called me that when he was angry. I tilted my head to look at him and asked what was going on. The bedside lamp casts a cold. There was a heavy glint in his eyes. He was standing there. He stared at me silently for a long time. I lost a trade today, just like 3 years ago.